The mind is like a garden. You can either let it grow wild with weeds, or you can carefully cultivate it to produce a magnificent harvest. For the next 21 days, we're going to cultivate that garden together. That's all it takes, 21 days to create new neural pathways, new habits, new beliefs. 21 days to brainwash yourself for success. Now, I didn't say it would be easy. I just said it would be worth it. And that's a distinction you've got to understand. Most people want easy. They want the shortcuts, the magic pills, the magic bullets, the get-rich-quick schemes. But successful people, truly successful people, understand the value of the process. They embrace the journey. They know that anything worth having is worth working for. You see, success leaves clues. It's not a mystery. It's not reserved for the special few. It's available to anyone who is willing to pay the price. And part of that price is reprogramming your mind for success. That's what we're going to talk about today. When I was a young man, I met my mentor, Mr. Schoaf. He said to me, Jim, if you want to be successful, you've got to change your thinking. I said, well, how do I do that? And he said something I'll never forget. He said, start working harder on yourself than you do on your job. That was a turning point for me. I realized that my level of success was always going to be directly proportional to my level of personal development. So here's what I want you to do for the next 21 days. I want you to make a commitment to your own growth. I want you to make a commitment to brainwash yourself for success. Because if you don't, I guarantee you that television, social media, negative people, and your own past conditioning will brainwash you for mediocrity. Let's talk about day one. The first thing you need to do is become aware of your current programming. Most people never take the time to examine what's already in their minds. They just keep running the same old software and wonder why they keep getting the same old results. So on day one, I want you to become the observer of your thoughts. Notice what you tell yourself when you wake up in the morning. Notice how you talk to yourself throughout the day. Notice the automatic thoughts that come when you face a challenge or an opportunity. Just observe. Don't judge. Don't try to change anything yet. Just become aware. You know, awareness is the beginning of change. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. So many people go through life on autopilot, never examining their thinking patterns, never questioning their beliefs, never challenging their assumptions. And then they wonder why their lives never change. On day two, I want you to start questioning your beliefs. Ask yourself, is this belief serving me? Is it moving me toward success or away from it? Where did I get this belief? Is it even true? You see, many of our limiting beliefs were installed when we were children. Maybe someone told you that you weren't smart enough or talented enough or deserving enough, and you believed them. You accepted that programming without question. But now as an adult, you have the power to examine those beliefs and decide if you want to keep them. One of the most powerful questions you can ask yourself is, what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? Just imagine that for a moment. If success was guaranteed, what would you attempt? What dreams would you pursue? What goals would you set? That question helps you identify the limiting beliefs that are holding you back. By day three, I want you to start creating a new vision for your life. You've got to have a vision that's bigger than your current circumstances. You've got to have a dream that pulls you forward. Otherwise, you'll just keep drifting. Set aside some time, at least an hour, to really think about what you want, not what your parents want for you, not what society expects of you, not what seems reasonable or practical, but what you truly want. Write it down in vivid detail. Make it so compelling that it gets you out of bed in the morning. You know, most people never do this. They never take the time to design their lives. They're too busy making a living to create a life. Don't make that mistake. Your life is too precious to live by default. On day four, start feeding your mind with success. Read books by successful people. Listen to educational audio programs. Attend seminars and workshops. Surround yourself with people who are where you want to be. I've always said that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So take a look at your current associations. Are they lifting you up or pulling you down? Are they challenging you to grow or encouraging you to stay the same? Remember, you can't soar with the eagles if you're scratching with the turkeys. And what about your media consumption? The average American watches over 4 hours of television per day. That's 2 months per year of sitting in front of the television. Imagine what you could accomplish if you invested even half of that time in personal development. I'm not saying you can't ever watch television, but be selective. Choose programs that inspire you, that teach you, that expand your mind. And limit your exposure to the news. Most news is negative, and it creates a distorted view of reality. By day 5, I want you to start practicing affirmations. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, Jim, that sounds a bit new agey. But hear me out. Affirmations are simply positive statements that you repeat to yourself. They're a way of reprogramming your subconscious mind. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. It just accepts whatever you feed it, especially when those messages are accompanied by emotion. So by repeatedly affirming positive statements about yourself and your future, you're literally rewiring your brain for success. Here's a simple affirmation to get you started every day in every way. I'm getting better and better. Say it with conviction. Say it like you mean it. Say it until you believe it, because eventually you will believe it. And when you believe it, you'll start acting in ways that make it true. On day 6, start practicing gratitude. Gratitude is the antidote to many negative emotions: fear, anger, resentment, envy. It's impossible to feel grateful and negative at the same time. So make it a habit to count your blessings every day. I recommend starting a gratitude journal. Each morning or evening, write down 3 to 5 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. Maybe you're grateful for a good cup of coffee, or a smile from a stranger, or the fact that you have clean water to drink. The point is to train your mind to focus on what's good in your life rather than what's lacking. You know, there's always something to be grateful for. Always, even in the darkest times, there are blessings to be found if you look for them. And when you focus on those blessings, more blessings come your way. That's just how the universe works. By day 7, I want you to start visualizing your success. Set aside 10 to 15 minutes each day to close your eyes and imagine yourself already having achieved your goals. See it in vivid detail. Feel the emotions and guide your senses. If your goal is financial abundance, see yourself receiving checks in the mail or looking at your bank statement with a big smile on your face. If your goal is a loving relationship, see yourself with your ideal partner, feeling the love and connection between you. If your goal is optimal health, see yourself with a strong, fit body, brimming with energy and vitality. Visualization works because it programs your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters information, to notice opportunities that align with your goals. It's like when you buy a new car, and suddenly you start seeing that same model everywhere. Those cars were always there, but now your brain is tuned to notice them. On day 8, start acting as if. This is a powerful technique where you behave as if you've already achieved your goals. How would you walk, talk, dress, and carry yourself if you were already the success you aspire to be? Start doing those things now. This isn't about pretending or being fake. It's about aligning your behavior with your vision. It's about stepping into the identity of the person you're becoming. Because here's the truth: you don't get what you want in life, you get what you are. I often tell the story of 2 salesmen who were sent to Africa in the early 1900s to see if there was any opportunity to sell shoes. The first salesman reported back, situation hopeless, they don't wear shoes. The second salesman reported back, glorious opportunity. They don't have any shoes yet. Same situation, different mindset, and that made all the difference. The first salesman saw the world as it was. The second salesman saw the world as it could be. Which one do you think was more successful? By day 9, start setting specific, measurable goals. Vague wishes don't get results. Clear goals do. Write down exactly what you want to achieve and by when. Break those goals down into smaller, manageable steps, and then take action every single day. You know, a goal without a plan is just a wish, and a plan without action is just a dream. But a goal with a plan backed by consistent action, that's a recipe for success. I recommend setting goals in several areas of your life: financial, physical, relational, spiritual, intellectual. Because success isn't just about making money, it's about creating a life of balance and fulfillment. On day 10, start developing the habit of discipline. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. It's choosing the pain of discipline over the pain of regret. It's making sacrifices today for a better tomorrow. Most people want to feel motivated before they take action, but that's backward. Action comes first, then motivation. When you take action, even when you don't feel like it, you build momentum. And momentum is a powerful force. Start small. Maybe it's getting up 30 minutes earlier each day to read or exercise. Maybe it's making 5 sales calls before lunch. Maybe it's saving 10% of your income before you spend a dime. These small disciplines compound over time to create extraordinary results. By day 11, I want you to start eliminating negative influences from your life. This includes negative people, negative media, and negative environments. You can't soar with the eagles if you're scratching with the turkeys, remember. Now, I'm not saying you should cut off your family or friends, but you might need to limit your exposure to those who drain your energy or discourage your dreams. And you definitely need to stop watching the news all day and scrolling through social media for hours. Replace these negative influences with positive ones. Surround yourself with uplifting books, inspiring music, and motivational content. Seek out positive, successful people who believe in you and your potential. On day 12, start developing an attitude of service. The secret to living is giving. The more you focus on adding value to others, the more success and fulfillment you'll experience. Ask yourself, how can I serve today? How can I make someone's life better? How can I solve problems for others? When you approach life with this mindset, opportunities come your way. People want to do business with those who genuinely care about their needs. You know, there's a universal law that says you reap what you sow. If you sow seeds of service, you'll reap a harvest of success. It might not happen overnight, but it will happen. That's a promise. By day 13, start taking full responsibility for your life. Stop blaming circumstances, other people, or bad luck for your situation. Take ownership of where you are and where you're going. This is so important, folks. As long as you're blaming external factors for your problems, you're giving away your power to change them. But when you take responsibility, you take back your power. You move from being a victim to being a creator of your life. I know this isn't easy. It's much more comfortable to point fingers than to look in the mirror. But comfort doesn't lead to growth. Comfort leads to stagnation. On day 14, halfway through our 21-day program, I want you to start embracing failure as feedback. Successful people don't avoid failure. They learn from it. They see it as valuable information, not as a reflection of their worth. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before he invented the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset you need to develop. Every failure brings you one step closer to success, as long as you're willing to learn and adjust your approach. So don't fear failure, fear regret. Fear looking back on your life and wondering, what if I had tried? By day 15, start practicing self-discipline in your thinking. Don't let your mind wander aimlessly. Direct it toward productive, positive thoughts. When negative thoughts arise, and they will, replace them with positive ones. This takes practice. It's like training a muscle. At first, it's difficult. You might catch yourself thinking negatively multiple times per hour. But with consistent effort, it gets easier. You develop mental strength. You become the master of your mind rather than its slave. One technique that helps is the stop and swap method. When you notice a negative thought, mentally say stop. Then swap that thought for a positive one. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I'll never succeed at this," stop and swap it for, "I'm learning and improving every day." Success is inevitable if I don't quit. On day 16, start creating empowering routines. Your daily routines either move you toward success or away from it. There's no neutral ground, so design routines that support your goals and dreams. I recommend having both morning and evening routines. Your morning routine sets the tone for the day. It might include exercise, reading, visualization, affirmations, and planning your day. Your evening routine helps you wind down and prepares your subconscious mind for success while you sleep. It might include reviewing your day, celebrating your wins, and setting intentions for tomorrow. Remember, we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. Create systems that make success inevitable. By day 17, start managing your emotions. Emotions are powerful forces that can either propel you towards success or keep you stuck in mediocrity. Learn to harness the positive ones and manage the negative ones. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or pretending they don't exist. It means acknowledging them, understanding them, and then choosing how to respond to them. It's about emotional intelligence. One technique that helps is the name it to tame it approach. When you feel a strong negative emotion, simply naming it, "I'm feeling frustrated" or "I'm feeling anxious," can help reduce its intensity and give you more control over your response. On day 18, start practicing persistence. Success rarely comes overnight. It's the result of consistent effort over time. It's showing up day after day, especially when you don't feel like it. It's refusing to quit no matter how many obstacles you face. I like to tell the story of the stonecutter. He hammers at his rock 100 times without making a dent. Then on the 101st blow, the rock splits in two. It wasn't just that last blow that did it, it was all the blows that came before. That's how success works. You keep showing up, keep putting in the effort, keep learning and growing. And then one day, seemingly out of nowhere, everything falls into place. But it wasn't out of nowhere. It was the culmination of all your previous efforts. By day 19, start practicing forgiveness. Forgive others who have wronged you. Forgive yourself for past mistakes. Forgiveness isn't about condoning what happened. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of resentment and regret. Unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It hurts you more than it hurts them. It keeps you stuck in the past, unable to fully embrace the present or create a better future. So let it go. Release the grudges. Release the self-blame. Make peace with your past so it doesn't contaminate your future. On day 20, start practicing the art of listening. Listen to others with genuine interest and without interrupting. Listen to your intuition. That quiet voice within that often knows what's best for you. Listen to the feedback the universe is giving you through your results. Most people don't really listen, they just wait for their turn to talk. But successful people know that listening is where the real learning happens. It's how you understand others' needs, spot opportunities, and avoid pitfalls. Develop the habit of asking good questions and then truly listening to the answers. You'll be amazed at what you learn and how it can accelerate your success. And finally, on day 21, I want you to make a lifetime commitment to growth. This 21-day program is just the beginning. Personal development isn't a destination. It's a journey that lasts a lifetime. Promise yourself that you'll never stop learning, never stop growing, never stop challenging yourself to become better. Because that's what success is ultimately about, becoming the best version of yourself and making the greatest contribution you can with the gifts you've been given. Now, let's talk about what happens after these 21 days. You've brainwashed yourself for success. You've installed new patterns of thinking, new habits, new beliefs, but the work isn't over. In fact, it's just beginning. You see, it's one thing to plant the seeds of success in your mind. It's another thing entirely to nurture those seeds until they bear fruit. That takes consistent effort, ongoing education, and a willingness to adjust your approach as needed. I recommend revisiting this program periodically, maybe once a year, or whenever you feel yourself slipping back into old patterns. Use it as a tune-up for your mind, a way to reinforce the positive programming and eliminate any negative programming that might have crept back in. You know, your mind is like a garden. You can't just plant the seeds and walk away. You have to water them, fertilize them, protect them from weeds. The same is true of your success mindset. You have to nurture it every day through positive inputs, deliberate practice, and conscious choices. Let me share something with you that my mentor, Mr. Schoaf, told me years ago. He said, "Jim, your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change." That's so profound. If you want different results, you have to do different things. If you want to think differently, you have to feed your mind different input. Most people keep doing the same things day after day, year after year, and then they wonder why nothing changes in their lives. That's the definition of insanity, doing the same things but expecting different results. But you're not going to fall into that trap. You're going to make deliberate changes to your thinking, your habits, your associations, your environment. You're going to brainwash yourself for success, and as a result, your life is going to transform in ways you can hardly imagine right now. I want you to understand something important. This process of transformation isn't linear. It's not like you're going to see massive changes every single day. Some days it might feel like nothing is happening. You might even have days where you feel like you're moving backward. But don't be discouraged. Personal growth is more like compounding interest in a straight line. At first, the changes are small, almost imperceptible, but over time they compound and accelerate. What seems like slow progress in the beginning can lead to exponential results down the road. It's like bamboo. When you plant bamboo, nothing appears to happen for the first 4 years. You water it, you fertilize it, but you don't see any results. Then in the 5th year, it grows 90 feet in 6 weeks. Was it growing during those first 4 years? Absolutely. It was developing a root system that could support that explosive growth. Your success works the same way. You might not see immediate results from your efforts. But trust me, beneath the surface, something powerful is happening. You're developing the mental and emotional foundation for extraordinary success. So be patient with the process. Trust it. Embrace it. Enjoy it, because the journey itself is where the real riches are found. You know, I've met so many people over the years who were in a hurry to achieve success. They wanted it yesterday. And in their impatience, they often made poor decisions, took shortcuts, and ultimately sabotaged their own progress. Don't make that mistake. Understand that lasting success takes time. It's not about how quickly you get there. It's about how solid your foundation is when you arrive. I want to address something else that's important. As you go through this 21-day program, you're going to face resistance, both internal and external. Internal resistance comes in the form of doubt, fear, and old habits trying to reassert themselves. Your comfort zone will try to pull you back. Your inner critic will tell you it's not worth the effort or not capable of changing. That's normal. Expect it. And when it happens, recognize it for what it is, your old programming fighting to survive. External resistance comes from the people around you. Not everyone will understand or support your journey. Some might even try to discourage you, either because they're afraid of being left behind or because your growth highlights their stagnation. Remember this, criticism often comes from those who are doing less than you. Praise often comes from those who are doing more than you. So consider the source of any feedback you receive. And here's another truth. You don't need everyone's approval to succeed. You just need your own commitment and the support of a few key people who believe in you. Find those people, cherish them, and limit your exposure to the naysayers and dream stealers. Now let me share a concept that has been life-changing for me and countless others I've mentored. It's the idea of the slight edge. The slight edge is about making small, positive choices consistently over time. It's about understanding that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. You see, most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a year and underestimate what they can accomplish in 10 years. They want dramatic results right away, and when they don't get them, they give up. But successful people understand the power of compound effect. They know that small actions repeated daily compound into remarkable results. For example, reading just 10 pages of a good book every day would mean you'd read about 3,650 pages per year. That's roughly 12 books. Writing just 1 page per day would give you a 365-page book in a year. Saving just $5 per day would give you $1,825 per year, plus interest. These might not seem like big accomplishments in the moment, but they add up to significant results over time. And more importantly, they transform you in the process. You become a reader, a writer, a saver. You develop the identity of a successful person. That's the power of the slight edge. It's not about making dramatic changes overnight. It's about making small, positive choices day after day, week after week, month after month. It's about consistency over intensity. And here's the beauty of it. Anyone can do it. You don't need special talents or advantages. You just need to understand the principle and apply it consistently. Let me tell you about one of my students who applied these principles. When he first came to my seminar, he was broke, deeply in debt, and working a dead-end job he hated. He had every reason to be discouraged, but he made a decision that day to change his thinking in his life. He started with the basics, reading positive books, associating with successful people, setting clear goals, visualizing his success. At first, nothing seemed to change, but he persisted. He kept feeding his mind with success. He kept taking small, positive actions each day. Within a year, he had started a small business on the side. Within 3 years, that business was generating more income than his job. Within 5 years, he had paid off all his debts and was financially free. Within 10 years, he was a millionaire helping others achieve the same transformation. Was it easy? No. Did he face setbacks and challenges? Absolutely. But he had reprogrammed his mind for success. He had brainwashed himself to see opportunities instead of obstacles, to focus on solutions instead of problems, to persevere when others would quit. That's what I want for you. I want you to experience that same transformation. I want you to look back 5 years from now and be amazed at how far you've come. But it starts with a decision to take control of your mind, to consciously direct your thoughts towards success, to brainwash yourself with positive, empowering beliefs and ideas. You know, your mind is the most powerful tool you possess. It can be your greatest asset or your worst liability, depending on how you use it. Most people never learn how to use this tool effectively. They let their minds wander aimlessly or get hijacked by negative influences. And then they wonder why their lives are filled with struggle and disappointment. But that's not going to be your story. You're going to master your mind. You're going to program it deliberately for success. You're going to become the architect of your thoughts rather than their victim. And as your thinking changes, your actions will change. As your actions change, your results will change. As your results change, your life will change. It's a beautiful cycle of transformation that begins with your decision to take control of your mental programming. So commit to these 21 days. Give them your full attention and effort. Treat this process with the seriousness it deserves. Because when you change your mind, you change your life. And remember, this isn't just about achieving external success, making more money, getting a better job, buying a nicer house. Those things are fine, but they're just the outer manifestations of a much deeper transformation. The real goal is to become the kind of person who naturally attracts success, to develop the character, the mindset, the habits of a truly successful individual. Because when you do that, success isn't something you pursue, it's something you attract by the person you become. That's why personal development is so critical. It's not about learning a few techniques or strategies. It's about transforming yourself from the inside out. It's about becoming more to achieve more. I want to leave you with one final thought. Your life has purpose and meaning. You were created for greatness, not mediocrity. You have talents and gifts that the world needs. Don't let negative programming, limiting beliefs, or the opinions of others hold you back from fulfilling your potential. You have everything you need within you right now to create an extraordinary life. All you have to do is tap into it, cultivate it, and express it. And that begins with your thinking, with brainwashing yourself for success. So start today. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when conditions are perfect. Start now. Take that first step. Make that commitment to yourself. Invest in your mind. Feed it with success. Protect it from negativity. Direct it toward your dreams. Because when you change your thinking, you change your life. And when enough of us change our lives, we change the world. Thank you.